I assert that compassion is a natural phenomena that spontaneously arises as we purify our bodies. Hi, I'm Farah of Tibetan Healing Movement, and this video is all about substance compassion. So compassion is a huge subject, is incredibly important on the Buddhist path. It's like the main path, it's the main method that's used in Buddhism to help us achieve the goal of this natural Buddha nature, clear light awareness that we're aiming for. So compassion is very complex, or rather nuanced. There's many layers to it. And for this reason, traditionally, it was a secret subject. And for more about the meaning of secret, you can check out another video of mine that I did about that. But in short, just to say that it's not secret because there's something to hide, but just because there's a little more layers to it. And so in order to not misunderstand, it's important to build up certain levels of understanding. So therefore, this was a teaching that traditionally was taken a little more care and responsibility in sharing the depths of it. But I don't claim to have great understanding of compassion, but I'll share with you what I know and what I've learned from my teacher, Tulku Lobsang. So first, I'm going to start with explaining that there are basically 3 levels of compassion: conventional compassion, substance compassion, and absolute compassion. So conventional compassion is, compassion is a feeling, and so this feeling would be generated more mentally or logically. It's just understanding that, just as I don't want to suffer and just as I want to be happy, clearly other people are the same. And so it is kind and compassionate of me to also wish for others what I wish for myself, to be happy and not suffer. And so this is an exercise that you do kind of in that logical way to generate the feeling. That's conventional compassion. Important, very powerful for your well-being. Then there's substance compassion. This is something that's generated by the body. It's something actual physically in the body that results in a state of being of compassion. I'm going to come back to this one. And then the third level is absolute compassion. This is something that goes beyond the body, beyond the mind. It's like, when you truly open your heart and understand these realizations that we're empty of an independent nature, that we're truly all interconnected. There is no separation between you, between me. And so it's like this, like you just really understand that you are everything. And from that place, there is compassion. This is a higher level compassion. It's in the direction of enlightenment, but moving beyond the separate identification with the self. Okay, so let me come back to substance compassion. Substance compassion is only discussed in Tantrayana Buddhism. It's like the specialty of Tantrayana Buddhism. And to explain that, Tantrayana is the path where we use the body as a vehicle to realize our true nature, to discover our true nature. And the nature of the mind, as I said, would be one of clear light, awareness, or you could say emptiness. But you can go through the body in order to have these realizations and to create the same, these corresponding changes in the mind. So Tantrayana is a process of purification and ongoing refinement of the body. And it's the path of reaching bliss body. So basically the understanding here is that the real true nature of our body, of our minds, is actually hidden right now. So it's something we need to discover. And it's kind of like there's something inside of us. Now I'm talking our body, our physical, or you could say our subtle body, but our body. There's something inside of us right now that we possess. We all have it, but it's like it's frozen. It's frozen. It's just rigid. We can't access it. So it's this whole process of starting to melt what is frozen. And in this way, we release something. So what I'm talking about here is a real substance that's released in the body when we, there's steps to go through to reach this place and to become so purified and refined. But I'll jump to the end point here, which is that when you melt or start to release these substances, and we say the ocean of these substances is in the brain, and they are the most highly refined, highly pure substances, but they're still in the world of form. But this is like the most pure aspect of the 5 elements that compose our body. These are the most pure, most refined, and we can unlock it. And when we unlock this substance, it generates compassion. Wow, this is so interesting to think about. I love this piece. There's so many potent things to explore with this. So let me talk about these substances a little bit more. Like, what are these substances? It's definitely in the direction of hormones. I think it's beyond hormones, and it's, a more subtle layer beyond that. But in the same way, hormones are physical things in our body, chemicals in our body that do create emotional and energetic responses in us, right? We're able to be happier when we have serotonin and dopamine, and also our energy, like the vibe that we put out, is going to vary dependent on this like amazing balance of hormones in our body. So that's a way to understand what we're talking about, what we're unlocking here. But it goes beyond just like a little bit of happiness. This is really ultimately a path to enlightenment, unlocking this substance, compassion. And then also, when you think about the word compassion itself, it means like with passion. And even passion is another angle that we can approach this from to start to understand this connection between the body and what's happening physically and this emotional mental quality, right? When someone's feeling a lot of passion, if you think of sexual passion, this is something it is physical, and yet it's this like energetic feeling, this desire. It's just a different energy that's created within your body. Or passion about a skill or a subject. It's a feeling, but it generates this energy to act as well. So it propels us in a certain direction. So anyway, let me check my notes here. Basically, the really amazing thing about this is, one, understanding that, and I truly believe this, it's my conviction, that it is our nature to be compassionate. It's not something that we have to force or is just some like spiritual imperative, that it really is our nature. The more we come closer to our true nature, the more spontaneously we feel compassion and act compassionately. And I really believe that the world is waking up to this right now. I think it's an outdated paradigm to, this competitive attitude, or thinking that the way to protect the self is to kind of step on others or, take away from them in order to have more for yourself. I mean, maybe for like a moment in the short term, that seems to kind of work, but in the long view, over time, that is not a successful strategy. That it's actually compassion, having this open-hearted, loving quality, seeing others in yourself and yourself in others, treating them just as you would want to be treated because they are you. This kind of understanding is actually more true to who we really are. I mean, that's what Buddhism has been teaching us forever, that this idea of Buddha nature that we all have within us. Our nature is as a Buddha. And a Buddha is this loving, bright, light, compassionate being, right? That is our nature. Wow, that gives me so much hope. Anyone who knows me knows I'm incredibly optimistic about the future of our society. I know things look dark. I know, I'm not, I'm aware of these things, but it's these kinds of understandings, substance compassion, that it's something that's in our bodies, that when we unlock it, we become these, we're closer to these beings of light and love and compassion. So, I'd love to hear your comments about this, if you agree, what thoughts it might bring up for you. And just to say a couple words about some of the practices that lead us to this place. So, in the Tantrayana Buddhism path, we have many experiential movement breathwork practices, and I teach several of these. But basically, you want to build it up step by step. It just makes sense that you have a good foundation and unlock things progressively step by step in order to get to this substance compassion place. So that means first, really training your channels to be more open, to be more supple and flexible. And then once that occurs, we do that predominantly with the practice called Lujong. And then you can move into really working with the energy, the wind energy that's flowing in those channels, making sure that that's flowing harmoniously throughout the whole body and increasing control over moving that energy into different places. So that's the Tsaung practice, really working with breath and movement. And then we also focus on places where the body is building this essence. And it's different points all throughout the body. And you want to make sure that those places are open so that you have enough of this essence to work with in the first place. You're producing it, and that it's flowing throughout the body. And then it's the essence of the essence of the essence that's there that you're going to unlock eventually to reach this place of bliss body and substance compassion. Wow. I get excited about this stuff. I'd love to share more with you. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to receive more videos like this. I'm pretty consistent these days, putting out something every week. And you can also pop over to my website, TibetanHealingMovement.com, to learn more about these practices and the Tantrayana Buddhist path that I received from my teacher, Tulku Lobsang. So thank you so much for your time and attention, most valuable resources. I hope you found some benefit, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this.